Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows from shows ranging from the 90s to today.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany,
And I'm Cynthia.
and today we're talking about season 5, episode 8, titled Hotel New Hampshire. Air date November 28th, 2001, and the synopsis is
Dawson's therapist advises him to go to New Hampshire for the film festival and take a friend with him. He takes Jen and they pretend to be a couple, getting a very romantic honeymoon suite. Meanwhile, Jack brings Joey and Audrey to a frat party. Also, Pacey takes Karen on a non-romantic date and they end up sleeping together. So we see Pacey and Dawson together for the first time in a while.
yeah, I was like Dawson and Pacey on the boat together. What?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know they were like friends, not friends that go out of their way to see each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought they were like friends for like the group, like so the group isn't divided like
Mm-hmm.
it was in season 3, but I didn't know they were like friends where they would see each other outside of the group. That's news to me. And the thing is, you know how I forgot like season 5?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I totally forgot this one. I didn't know that Dawson and Pacey spent any time together outside of the group.
Yeah, well, the last time we saw each other was that day when Pacey showed Dawson the scene where his dad passed and told him what really happened.
Yep.
So
But
that
I
was
thought
like,
that was only but I thought that was only because Mitch died. I didn't think that was because they were like friends, you know what I mean?
well, I did just because Pacey knew how much it was bothering Dawson, thinking that it was his fault that Mitch died. So that was like his way of showing that he still cared about Dawson, and even with
Yeah, but
the phone call
yeah,
at the
but
beginning of the season.
yeah, but Pacey, I think that was end of last season, I think.
No,
Remember when Pacey called him that he was on the road or on the boat?
yeah, wasn't that the beginning of the season?
The end. It was like a goodbye.
Oh,
But I mean, we've seen that Pacey has always cared about Dawson.
mm-hmm,
And but Dawson has always been like had the roadblock and we're not friends and all of this. And so I didn't really think Dawson would go out of his way to spend any time with Pacey. And I mean, I know Pacey would, but I just didn't think Dawson would. And like that's why Pacey went and helped Dawson with his dad, his death because Pacey's that friend. But Dawson, again, would not, I don't think, have done that if roles reversed because Dawson, they don't have that friendship in Dawson's eyes. But it's weird that all of a sudden they have this scene together that they're just spending time together. It's kind of weird. It's off for the show and for them. You know what I mean? Like, are they rekindling their friendship because Mitch passed?
maybe.
Because some people do that.
Mm-hmm,
They'll see a friend, an old friend or something, and, start a friendship up because of a death.
mm-hmm.
But I didn't know if that's what's going on or what, just because it's just weird. Season 4, we did not see them really as friends.
Right, even though Dawson was dating Gretchen.
And even season 5, we haven't really seen them be friends until now.
Mm-hmm.
And did he spend the night on the boat or did he just go there early one morning?
I think he just went there one morning, maybe after a therapy session.
Hmm.
Because like maybe he hasn't really seen Dawson hasn't really seen Joey, and Jack's always at the frat house and Jen was probably either at the radio station or in class. So really I think at the time Pacey was the only one that he could like hang out with at that time,
Hmm.
probably. And then but yeah, they just really like helped each other out with their current situations. Like Dawson doesn't know what to do at school. and Pacey doesn't know what to do with Karen. So Dawson tells Pacey that the Pacey he knows would actually help the girl no matter what the drama is.
Well, of course Pacey would.
Hmm. And then we come back to Joey and Jen studying together, even though they don't take any of the same classes or
That
the
was
same school.
my that's what I had another issue with.
Yeah, I mean, like
Um,
they can work together, but it's not really a group thing.
yeah, it's not a group study session.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was my thing too, was are they doing, you know, are they, because sometimes you can bring work home or, school work home and just do it to, like at the table, but
Hmm.
not like you're studying together. And I'm
Yeah,
like, it's just weird. I'm like, they're not in the same class. They're not in the
the
same
same school.
school.
Hmm.
It didn't make any sense because it
I,
looked like they were literally studying together.
yeah, I think it was just because Joey was going to bring up the winter formal to Jen
They,
that
but they
she's going with
couldn't,
Jack with.
but they couldn't just be eating ice cream or something together talking.
Yeah,
They
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 could have,
had
yeah.
to be doing schoolwork, air quotes. And again, we've never seen Jen in school
Maybe this was just a way of showing that Jen was actually taking classes as that she has homework.
because we've never seen it.
Hmm.
Think about it. She's missed days because she was with Charlie.
Right.
Remember when they had that no sex for 12 hours?
Hmm. What did you just say? The
That
last
she
thing?
was, well, because remember she had that whole no sex thing with Charlie.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The 12 hours.
Yeah, so I'm like, we've never really seen her in school. Like, I didn't really think, I thought she was missing a whole bunch of days.
Hmm. And
Um,
then, yeah. So,
Jack,
yeah.
well, Jack is at the frat house and they're talking about the party or whatever it is. And they are like, oh, we've seen the girls that you hang out with. Like, they're hot or whatever. And they want to sleep. Because they said that everyone needs to get laid that night. Ew. Um, and like, this is what I didn't want Jack to be a part of, is the frat house and just randomly sleeping with people. No, that's not our Jack.
Hmm.
And then yeah, then they want the Jack to set them up with his friends. I was disgusted by them. And I
Yeah.
was disgusted because Jack was going along with it.
Hmm.
Jack was like, "Yeah, I'll set you up with my friend." And I was like, "Well, well, at first, did you know which friend he was talking about? Because he was obviously going with Joey. But did you
Yeah.
think it was Jen that he was setting that guy up with?
Um,
Because I didn't think that. My thing was he only has two girls that he's friends with, Jen and Joey. Like he's not really friends with Audrey. Audrey's not really part of the group
right.
yet. It's
Hmm.
like so the only I mean, he spent time with Audrey once. Remember in the dorm room when that was it? So it's not like they're like friends. So the only friend I thought of that he would, you know, hook somebody up with was Jen.
Hmm.
What'd you think?
Well, I didn't think of Jen just because we know that Jack and Jen aren't really talking to each other. So I
Yeah,
thought
but
maybe,
what other friend does he have?
well, I was thinking, I know it wouldn't make sense, but I just kept thinking about Joey because I knew she was going with him to the dance. So
Yeah, but she
maybe,
was going with him as his date.
yeah, well, maybe I was going to see him that way. And then later on, he was going to like introduce her to somebody in the frat house. Maybe
Yeah, but
that's what I was thinking.
he also knows Joey doesn't sleep around.
I know. I don't, like I said, I didn't really think of anybody else but Joey.
I didn't because I knew Joey was his date, but then he said he had somebody in mind, and I was like,
Hmm.
who?
Yeah.
Like who would be dumb enough to sleep with your little frat friends? Like, ugh.
Hmm.
I didn't like
Yeah.
it. And I
Hmm.
don't like that Jack is a part of it.
Yeah. And then back to Jen and Joey. Joey told Jen that she was happy that she was being there for Dawson since they're not really talking right now at the moment. Because usually he would go to Joey about stuff like
Um,
this.
you know darn well Joey's not happy with that.
Yeah, I know, but think she was
Because
still grateful to Jen.
wasn't it Jen that brought it up that like I don't know, because like you can kind of tell that Jen and Dawson are friends. And I don't think Joey likes them. Because she don't like when anyone's friends with Dawson.
No, I think she was still grateful because she's the one that asked about Dawson first. And that's when Jen
Yeah,
tells her,
yeah, but the look on her face tells a different story.
oh, I didn't see that.
Because she's
Right.
always getting jealous of other people.
Yeah, but I don't think she's really jealous of Jen anymore, at least.
I do, because Jen was able to get somewhere with Dawson that, like open up wise, that he was never able to open up with Joey.
Yeah, but I think she wouldn't have told Jen that she was glad that she was there for him if she wasn't feeling that way.
I do. I think she'd lie.
Mm. And then Pacey shows up at Karen's to take her on their non-romantic date.
My God, you mean their date?
Yeah. So apparently this is, well, at least Pacey's trying to make it a thing
Just
and,
out of the blue.
and calls it a trial run of a life without heartache.
Okay, but the thing is, like, just last episode, he heard the answering machine, and he saw that she clearly was still into Danny. So
Mm-hmm.
how is it next episode? He just thinks that she's gonna be over Danny and she's gonna want
Yeah.
Pacey. Like, what?
Yeah, I don't know.
I was so confused with this. I was like, this doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would she just run to you? And also, why would you want her to? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like if she's into somebody else, why would you want her to just date you just because? Like it's not going to change how she feels about Danny.
Right.
And also, it was weird too because he was definitely pushing it. Like he was like, he goes, "Well, then just don't call it a date." And it's like, oh my God, but it is a date.
Mm-hmm. And then Dawson's with his therapist again, and he talks about his friends, how they keep treating him like he's fragile, making it hard for him to move on.
Well, yeah, at first they talk about Pacey, but then he's like, "No, it's all my friends."
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think it's all of them, but maybe Jen. Because Jen's the one that can like open up because he's really only talked about therapy with Jen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just because she's been
And
there.
yeah, but he's opened up to her. Like he doesn't open up to the other ones. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he opened up a little bit to Pacey, but Pacey still kind of puts a wall because of Mitch. Like
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't know how far to go, like and what
Yeah.
not to say and stuff. And so does Joey and Jack. I mean, Jack just gets him drunk. That's all.
Yeah.
And Joey just doesn't speak to him. So, and
Mm-hmm.
also, how much could Joey be his soulmate if they're not really speaking?
Right. And this is where we learned that it's been 2 months now since Mitch has passed. And then, yeah, so she tells him to go to the festival in New Hampshire and to take a friend with him for the weekend to clear his mind. And Dawson knows who to take. So, of course, we go to Jen
Well,
on the radio.
but at first, did you think it was Joey or did you think it was Jen when he said he knew who to take? Because they didn't say who.
Yeah, well, I didn't really know until the next scene when we saw Jen.
Because then Jen was like, "Oh, I don't wanna." Um. Oh, well, because then Jen's at work and she sees Charlie's ex. What's her name?
Nora.
Nora.
Nora. Mm-hmm.
And then Nora tells her that Charlie's been trying to get her back with letters.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he's not sending Jen any. So then Jen is all depressed and which is so annoying because like I want Jen to be stronger. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want her character to like fall back on a loser.
Depending on guys, yeah.
I know, but all she's had, it seems like, is bad boyfriends. Like, she needs someone better. And I just feel like I don't, and I feel like her character has grown so much
Mm-hmm.
since the beginning of the show that I don't want to see her go back to the same Jen, which is wanting a loser boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
which is what Charlie is. He cheated.
Yeah.
And he used how many girls? Two that we know of.
Right.
I'm sure plenty more.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want him as your boyfriend? I
I
don't
don't
get
know.
these girls at all. But yeah, so then of course she's talking to Dawson of how she doesn't want to see Charlie or, she just wants
Or
all that out of her mind. So then he brings up, have you ever been to New Hampshire? Oh my gosh.
yeah.
So then we find out that's who he's taking.
Yeah. So that was perfect timing for Dawson. And then Audrey's all excited to go to the winter formal and while they're getting ready and Jack has set her up with the blind date, of course, with his frat buddy. And then Joey thinks the party is just another frat debauchery. Audrey says Joey
Well,
is
isn't it?
narrow-minded. Yeah, she's right. But Audrey says that Joey's narrow-minded about frat houses, even though she's so progressive. But Joey says that the word progressive and frat do not belong in the same sentence, and I agree. And Joey
But
thinks at
what
least,
does Audrey think this is? Like Audrey's the party girl, right? So like
Mhm.
how does Audrey not see that this is a party?
No, she knows it's a party. She just doesn't know that it's kind of like a game to them, frat buddies.
Audrey doesn't know. Come on now.
Yeah, I don't know. I
I
mean,
feel like Audrey out of all of them would know what this
hmm
is.
yeah, I don't know. They're just taking her down like a more innocent, naive route that Joey would usually be on,
Well,
maybe.
they're kind of making Audrey seem stupid.
Yeah.
And it's annoying because I feel like Audrey would know exactly what the guys are into. I mean, think about it. She knows guys. She sleeps with them all the time. She
hmm
knows what they're into. And the fact that she doesn't get this one, come on now. Stop
Yeah.
making the girls so stupid on the show.
Yeah.
Let's
So
call
Joey,
it what it is. That's what they are. They're downgrading these girls, and I don't like it.
hmm so Joey just thinks that Lee she'll have a good time with Jack, if anything. And then the guys show up to pick them up, and
Oh,
Jack,
oh, you know how they said that the one guy said like, you have to get laid.
hmm
Jack's really gonna get laid with Joey.
yeah, I mean, because he doesn't bring
Uh,
another guy as a date, which
right, he brings
you would
Joey.
think, but yeah. Yeah, so Jack introduces
But
Eric.
I thought that was kind of funny because I was like, I don't think those two are gonna sleep together.
Yeah, apparently just for the straight guys.
Jack will be the only one.
hmm Yeah, so Jack introduces Eric to them, and Eric
He's all
said,
happy.
yeah. Well, Eric said that Jack said that Audrey was a stone fox. Never heard anyone use that before. And Audrey says that he'll just have to do.
I did
Like,
like that.
like she wasn't that impressed.
I like
Um,
that.
yeah, playing hard to get. And then yeah, Dawson checks into the film festival, and the girl at
Oh,
the table
yeah.
says he's cute and fangirls over him.
Yeah, but then the one guy was like, "Oh, is this your girlfriend?"
Trevor. No, no, it was a girl who said that.
Well,
She has an
whoever.
attitude. She has an attitude towards Jen, who thinks that she's his girlfriend.
Yeah, and then they're both like, "No," and it's like, okay.
Yeah, so then the guy Trevor is also excited to see Dawson and says his film beat their local filmmaker named Oliver. And the guy also calls him the R word and says, and then the girl doesn't have a name, says that he's just eccentric. So,
Yeah, I definitely didn't like that comment.
yeah, neither did I. But
I
it's really they,
I rolled my eyes when they happened.
yeah, it's really they give the guy a name, but not the girl, even though I think it's just because is he mentioned, does he come back? I don't know. I just wrote Trevor in my little notes. I don't know where I got that from. And then Jen and Dawson get to their room and it's made for a couple. And Jen jokes about being the girlfriend of the biggest celebrity in town. And then
Now, why would they just give Dawson like the honeymoon suite?
I have no clue. Maybe it was the one they had left. I don't know.
It's weird.
hmm
Like I could see because he won, you'd give him like a big room, but the honeymoon suite,
hmm
they're not. This isn't a wedding.
Yeah.
I just found that weird. I was like, you're at a film festival thing and you won, great, but I don't see where you would get the honeymoon suite.
Yeah. And
I thought that
Jen
was
jo
off.
yeah. And then Jen jokes, gee, honey, you shouldn't have to Dawson about the suite. And then at the party, the frat brothers tell Jack that he scored big when they see Audrey. And Joey like starts getting the hint that something might be going on there. But when she asks Jack, he says that they're just being idiots. So I didn't like that he lied to her either. And then the guys take the girls' coats. And during this, Joey mentions Jen should be sharing this pain. So Jack tells Joey that she's with Dawson for the weekend. And this time I did see
Her
Joey's
face.
face. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That girl was so jealous.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Joey, knock your crap off. Yes, you know what's funny though?
Mm.
What I find funny is that
What?
they tried in season 5 to stir it where it's gonna be Dawson and Joey at the beginning, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And then they just stopped it. And then now it's
Yeah.
gonna be Dawson and Jen.
Yeah.
But
What?
again, we've tried this with both couples. It doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Mm-hmm.
There was no chemistry between Dawson and Joey, and there was no chemistry between Dawson and Jen.
Right.
I didn't like either one. I thought they were both boring.
Yeah, but wasn't the one only dropped with Joey and Dawson because Mitch passed, so that's why it was dropped?
Well, yeah, because Dawson then turned and opened up to Jen and not Joey.
Mm-hmm.
Remember? Because now he's spending time with Jen because Joey, I think it's because Jen or Joey is too close to the situation, like too close to his dad.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like he grew up with Joey. Mitch kind of probably thought of her as a daughter. Like it's harder for him to open up to her rather than Jen, who didn't really know Mitch that well. And
No.
because Joey's well, sometimes it's easier to open up to someone you don't know than it is to open up to someone that you've known your whole life.
Yeah, I get that. Just not about this scenario.
And so I think because he definitely, and plus Joey's been sort of obnoxious and annoying and
Maybe,
always saying the wrong thing where it's like,
mm-hmm.
I'll push you to the side.
Yeah, the book. But maybe Dawson sees Joey like she's kind of tied to Mitch, so
That's what I
looks at
mean.
when he looks at
Is
her and talks to her, he just thinks about his dad. So maybe that's
yeah,
why it's hard.
it's like she's
Mm-hmm.
too close to the
Yeah,
situation. Yeah.
okay, now I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean is like she was like a daughter that's what I mean. When you look at her, it's all memories.
Mm-hmm.
Where when he looks at Jen, there's nothing. Yeah, they were
Plain slate.
neighbors, but that was it.
Mm-hmm.
But Jen doesn't have the awkwardness that Joey does when it comes to what to say and what not to say, because she just talks and jokes. So it's
Mm-hmm.
easier. And I think
Yeah.
Dawson in this time period, he needs that person that can joke
Mm-hmm.
about it and not be so serious and, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Where
Mm-hmm.
that's Joey.
Yeah.
But
And
again,
then
I found both in the first few seasons boring. So
and then Karen and Pacey are on their dinner, having their non-date. And then Pacey asks if Karen is enjoying herself, and she calls him sexy because he's wearing that bib as a joke.
are they in
And
Lobster?
I guess with a bib, I don't know, I didn't really see the table.
Bib.
Yeah, that's what it was. And Karen mentions how Pacey saved her from herself, and Pacey goes on to say to Karen that she deserves better than Jane's affair, someone who will love her back and only her.
Yeah, except for when he said, "You deserve someone better." If you close your eyes, you can remember that whole speech
Mm-hmm.
of "You deserve better." I recall
Mm-hmm.
you saying that to Joey.
Yeah. But is he like hinting at himself in this scene or just
I
in
think so
general?
because he wants to go on a date with her. This is his date. Remember,
Mm-hmm.
this is the date, non-date. So I think he's trying to
Woo her.
show her that, yeah, like look at me.
Mm-hmm. And then I guess they have a lot of time before the festival because Jen and Dawson are walking outside talking and um I'm writing all the wrong names in my notes.
Is like the festival like the next day and they're supposed to just check in the day before?
I don't know, so I said they have like a lot of extra time beforehand. Yeah, because Dawson says he doesn't know how he won the film festival, and
I
Jen
don't
says that,
either. Oh my
yeah,
God.
that,
Well, when they were going on, as in those people that girl and a guy, and they're,
Yeah.
oh my God, your film is so awesome and great. And I literally was like, I wrote down, what film are they talking about that's so great?
Yeah, I was wondering that
Because
too.
none of Dawson's films are great. Okay. So I
That we've
do not
seen,
get
yeah.
it. I don't
Mm-hmm.
get it.
Mm-hmm.
I, I don't know what they see. Why are they okay? This is what I have a bone to pick with this show. If you're going to tell us Dawson is so great, right? Why couldn't they pick things that were so great? Like make movies that were so great.
Mm-hmm.
Who really believed that that monster creature thing was so great?
I
You
don't
could
know.
tell how fake it was to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't so great. And that would go up against and win against other films. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I mean is if you were going to tell me they're so great, it should be great, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like if you say that someone's a star athlete on a team, then they better be great
Yeah.
for me to believe it. You can't just be
Mm-hmm.
mediocre. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what Dawson is. And we've seen nothing great. And again, like you've said in the past, he doesn't finish anything. How is he finishing all these films when we don't see it?
Well, he finished the documentary with Mr. Brooks.
Barely. But I didn't believe that but they were going on about how great he is. Oh, as if he's Steven Spielberg.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no, no. Dawson, nobody should be like gaga over you when you're not that great. I'm sorry. Maybe in 10 years he'll be great. He ain't great right now.
Well, Jen says that he's undermining his talent and he needs to stop or she'll break up with him as a joke about his being his whole girlfriend. And then Dawson says she'll never break up with him because of physical attraction is far too strong.
Okay, what physical attraction?
I think he was still joking with it
Because
all.
yeah, but I'm not seeing it.
And then Oliver, the local filmmaker there in New Hampshire, comes up to Dawson, who isn't happy about losing to someone who's a Hollywood slicker, he calls him. And that's when Oliver looks at Jen and says she's really pretty, kind of out of the blue, and then he
Yeah,
just leaves.
but then she says that she's Dawson's girlfriend.
Hmm. No, I think that's later when Dawson's making his speech, I believe, because Oliver's face looks disappointed when he says that. So, after their non-date, Karen and Pacey are walking. Pacey asks if Karen is going to smoke. Karen says she only smokes when she's nervous or annoyed. And then Pacey starts complimenting her, and Karen says she's had a great time with him. And Pacey takes that as a compliment back, and they say goodnight. And then Pacey goes to kiss her on the cheek, but she takes his face to kiss him on the lips. And then they start making out, go inside, and then they end up sleeping together. And they even knock over a lamp in the process. And then at the festival again, the audience finishes watching Boston's documentary about Mr. Brooks. That's when we finally learn what film was submitted by Mitch. And then a man speaks on stage about it. He brings up how Mitch told him he had to see Dawson's documentary. He knew when he saw it that Dawson was a talented filmmaker, and it came 3 days past the deadline. So I was surprised that he was even allowed to be submitted. And then he mentions how he's a dad himself. So that's how he understands the parental pride. And Jen holds Dawson's hand while he hears about his dad, which I thought that was sweet. And then he introduces Dawson to the stage. And
I
then
will say
now,
though that Jen looked cute.
yeah. And then she's wearing a hat. That
Yeah,
was
she
like
looked
a
cute.
very, yeah, different outfit than usual.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's ever
Well,
wore a hat
they're
either.
at a festival, so she got to look different, I guess.
Hmm. So
But
Dawson goes,
okay,
yeah,
okay. But then he gets on stage and he says, "To my girlfriend, Jen Lindley."
yeah.
What?
And that's when you see Oliver's face. I think he was doing that to get Oliver off of Jen's back because he was like kind of looking at her and
Well,
everything like that.
I think he was playing along because everybody's been saying that that's his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like they
So he's
gave him the
just playing.
honeymoon
Yeah.
suite and everything. So he's like, I'll play along because they've been kind of playing this whole time that
Hmm.
they're like, well, let's just keep playing.
Yeah. But then during his speech, Dawson mentions that his dad was the one who introduced him to movies, which is brand new information. And yeah, so he dedicates the award to his dad and will always remember him when he looks at the reward. And then at the party again, Audrey is bored of her frat date because he just goes on and asks about what gym she goes to. She gives him a look. People go by, making Audrey laugh, and then Eric tries putting his arm around her, but she stops him by asking what he's doing. And then he gets up to get more drinks, and that's when he goes to talk to Jack and says that Audrey is all tease and
Now,
no please.
well, I can't figure out though, because Joey, Audrey, I mean, think about it. She brings how many guys home or back to the dorm? Like, how she wouldn't be turned on with him trying to sleep with her. Like, Audrey brings home a guy every night. Like, it definitely doesn't add up to who she is because she would sleep with him. So the fact that because he puts his arm around her, she's like, ew. And it's like, but Audrey, come on now. First of all, you're at a frat house. Secondly, you do bring home guys all the time. So why would this one be any different than the other ones? Like,
Well,
I'm
she
so confused.
well, she hasn't done that since the very beginning of the season when she was introduced. And she was seeing that one guy for
That's
some
because
time.
they don't show her that much anymore.
Yeah, well, when we do see her, she's talking about outfits or something else, anything that's not about a guy. So just as of late, I don't think she's been doing that. And she was just excited to go to the party, not to hook up with anybody. So
Okay, but then Jack is talking to and laughing with his frat guy friends.
Eric, yeah.
And it bothered me because it's like, seriously, you are like what you're turning into one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you I didn't like it. I told you I didn't want him to be a part of the frat house because
Yeah.
this is what they are. And here it is. They're showing Jack in a bad light, and I don't like it. I don't want to see my Jack
Mm-hmm.
like that. And because he's supposed to be the nice guy and the one that's sentimental and that cares. And this is so not his character. And
Mm-hmm.
he's turning into one of those guys. And
Yeah.
think about it. On this show, the three on the show are not like that. They've never been like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're just going to believe Jack has turned into one? No. I don't want to believe that after 5 seasons that Jack is this person. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, it's just the frat influence.
Well,
But
this is why
Jack,
he shouldn't be a part of it. And then Joey overhears and
mm-hmm.
then confronts him.
Yeah. Because he was talking about how if Eric played his cards right, that Audrey would hook up with him. And then Joey doesn't let him explain. She just walks away, which I figured she would do because I would. And
Well,
then,
but that's all Joey ever does is walk away.
yeah.
Any confrontation or whatever, she just likes to walk away. She's usually the first
Mm-hmm.
one.
Yeah. And then Pacey finds Karen smoking and he starts talking about like there's no reason this can't work out now that
Except
they've
for then
slept
she
together.
says, yeah, but then she says that she doesn't
Want a
find him.
relationship.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she
Mm-hmm.
doesn't want to be with him.
Mm-hmm.
And that she only, and then, but then it kind of comes out that she only slept with Pacey to get back at Danny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
And
Pacey leaves.
oh, but oh my God, this is what I mean. I don't like Karen. She's using Pacey.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on now. You know he's my favorite. And I defend him. What the
Yeah.
heck? And then you're gonna do that to him? No, 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 no. This is when you become the enemy,
Mm-hmm.
is when you go and break his heart.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
I mean, like when she grabbed him and kissed him, it was like, oh my God, maybe she's starting to like him. And then this happens.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, come on now. Why do we have to go down this road?
Yeah.
Why can't he just get a girl that we all like?
Mm-hmm. And then pictures are taken of the filmmakers after the festival. And then Oliver says that he thought he was the only one who knew who Brooks was. And he says he was blown away by Dawson's documentary. And Oliver
I
asks about
still don't know
USC.
how.
Yeah, and then Dawson tells him he dropped out. And then Oliver talks about his school in Boston and it might suit Dawson. So
Yeah, he's like, oh, you should
Oliver,
check it out.
yeah. So Dawson says he'll thinks he'll do that someday. So I
So
figured they would,
it's a film school in Boston.
I guess, just not as well known as USC. Like it's not as popular, maybe not as
So
big.
so do people that go to this film school in Boston make it in Hollywood?
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean?
Because it's so far away from Hollywood too.
Well, yeah, and you I would think would have to go to like maybe a bigger college to get recognized, whether it's New York City or California. Like I just feel
Mm-hmm.
like you'd have to go somewhere big that they'd be like, "Oh, you went here?"
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, I just feel like that's kind of I don't know. Doesn't really
Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah, so then Oliver sees Jen and tells Dawson his girl is coming, and then Dawson starts saying Jen isn't his girl until he sees her walking towards them and is lost in her beauty. Dawson
Yeah,
introduces
all
Jen
of a
to
sudden,
Oliver.
Jen's looking good.
Yeah. And then Jen says Oliver's film was fantastic, and he says that she's still really pretty and how they make a great couple.
But I tell you season one or whatever, keep the blondes together.
Mm-hmm.
I said the blondes look good, and here it is.
Yep.
See, that's the thing is they might look good together, but they still are boring.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, do you want them together?
I don't know. It's hard to say at this point.
So you do want them together.
I don't know. Like I said, Dawson's been in the middle, like in between places. He doesn't know what he wants to do. So
Yeah, but do you think that they're going to be any more interesting than they were in season one?
I don't know. Maybe not. They've matured a bit.
And now you've got jealous Joey going on
Yeah, well, that was always a
again,
thing. Even, yeah.
again.
Hmm.
She was jealous in season one.
Yeah.
Okay, so once Joey finds out, what do you think's going to happen? Come on now.
I don't know.
And this time they took it an extra step. Think about it. They didn't do that extra step in season one.
Hmm.
So I think it's going to be worse than any reaction that she had in season one
Yeah.
because they've been
I,
friends longer
hmm.
and they actually had sex,
Right.
which changes everything.
Hmm. Really depends on how you take it from there. But I
Yeah, but
think Dawson,
Joey's gonna take it weird.
yeah. Um, but I think Dawson will tell Joey, unlike keeping a secret or lie from Joey like she did about Pacey to him. I think.
I hope so because that'd mean one of them's matured.
Hmm. Okay, so at the party, Joey is mad at Jack, of course. And
For good
starts to explain
reasons.
himself. Yeah, he starts to explain himself, saying it was stupid, harmless fun. Not really. Joey
How's
asks
that
me,
harmless fun? Like, what if
I know.
Audrey got sucked into that?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And she didn't. And then she woke up the next morning regretting it. Like, how is that fun? And what did they say? Harmless
Stupid.
fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
stupid, harmless fun.
Like,
Yeah.
that's just yeah. I don't
Yeah.
agree with that at all.
Hmm. And what if, since she didn't want to sleep with him, what if Eric just forced himself on her too? Like it could have been worse.
Yep. So that's not, yeah, it's all fun and games. Yeah, right. It's not.
Hmm.
Like this is
Yeah.
real and serious.
Hmm. Yeah. So Joey asks when did he become a jerk and how he was eager to drop them and make new friends. And
Hmm. Yeah,
Jack
he's not
says,
even hanging around the group. Last episode, he wasn't even in.
hmm.
It's like
Yep.
they've just written him completely off the show.
Yeah. Having his own little spinoff.
Hmm.
And then Jack says he has a family there who aren't on the brink of self-destruction, meaning like his mom and Andy, and he doesn't have to worry about anyone's life but his own. And
But
Joey
being
says
around
he's,
the group, he's not known as that. You know what I mean? Like,
hmm, yeah, Joey says he's just hiding.
and when have we brought up Andy and their mom?
Right.
Not since they were in high school.
We
That
don't
was
even
the
know what
last
happened to the
time.
mom. Hmm.
No, she like fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, and the dad too. And then
Uh-huh.
Joey says he's hiding because it's easier to be a meathead and be with the wannabe pimps. And Jack says she writes off anything that doesn't meet her standard of righteousness. And Joey says it's actually common decency and respect. And that's I agree with that on her, with her on that. And Jack says no one is forcing anyone to be there. So Joey says, yeah, I'm not being forced to be here. So I'm going to leave. And she does. So I'm glad. But she left Audrey, right? She left Audrey there?
I
Or
think
did
so,
she take
yeah.
her with her? Okay. That was the only thing I didn't like is that she just left without even telling Audrey. It seemed like. And then back at the hotel
Yeah,
room.
it should have been like, Audrey, let's go. And then they
Yeah.
walk out together. Like, that'd have been much better.
Yeah, because Audrey wouldn't have, made no fuss about it because she wasn't having fun with Eric anyhow. So, and then in the hotel room, Dawson says he's thinking of the nice things of his dad for the first time in a long time, and he's appreciating how of a great father he was to him, and that he's actually happy. He feels genuinely happy, and Jen says good because he deserves it. And Jen says Dawson restores her faith in the opposite sex. Dawson laughs, not believing her. He says after it not working out with him, he still made a place for her in his heart. And then that's when he's like, why didn't it work out? And Jen says that it didn't work out because he was in love with Joey. But was that the reason? I can't even keep track anymore.
No, she broke up with him because he was boring.
Yeah.
Then she started to, she remember she said she wanted to find herself, but then she
Mhm.
ended up going out with Cliff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then Dawson's like, so it was just me, and it was just Dawson because he's boring.
Hmm.
So yeah, she remember she lied to him. I'm finding myself.
Yeah.
And
'Cause
then Joey broke up with Dawson because she was finding herself when really it's all because he's boring.
yeah. But when he was interested in Joey, Jen mentions how she threw herself at him and, um, how Dawson loved it because she was just the first girl who tore his heart. And he actually enjoyed that. He knows the reason it didn't work out with them um, was because she wasn't physically attracted to him, that he was safe. This makes Jen kiss him, and he kisses her back, and then yeah, they sleep together too. So second pairing in a row
Awkward.
in this episode. Hmm. So the next morning, Dawson wakes up with Jen touching his hair, and Dawson says it went past his expectations for his first time, and they kiss and agree um, that they were great, and then they cuddle. So I don't know what that's going to lead to after this.
Well, but then she talks about like later, she's like, we need to talk and how she doesn't want their friendship to be ruined by sex. And he
Hmm.
said it won't.
Yeah. And he doesn't think that sex can change things for the worst. And he doesn't know what this means, but all he knows is that last night felt right and he's ready to
Well, I don't know.
make
Remember,
changes.
it went downhill with Pacey and Joey after they slept together.
Yeah. But who knows? Different situation, different people might be different.
Boring couple.
Outcome.
Okay.
Yeah. Jen, she's in it too, and they decide to stay in New Hampshire for a couple more days.
But yeah, because she's like,
And
oh, we got to go back to reality. And he's like, no, we can stay here for a couple more days and then go back to reality.
mm-hmm.
Like either way, you got to go back home and face all those people.
Yeah.
And so you want to stay in this longer and feel more connected. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's even worse when you go home. Okay. Like
Yeah, so
Joey's head is going to be like circling when she realizes that they're going to spend days together.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Think about how bad this is going to be.
Yeah. And then Jen jokes about being his girlfriend again, they kiss. And then back to the restaurant, Pacey tells Danny he quits.
And then
Danny
he said,
knows it's
yeah,
about
Karen
Karen.
already did it.
Yep. So Pacey goes off
Okay. Why does Pacey want to quit? Like, what's
because
his reason?
he doesn't want to make things complicated, can't say that word, at work with him and Karen both being together or whatever that would be. And just making the workplace complicated for them to be around each other. I don't know. It's like you shouldn't be working with, the person you're seeing kind of thing, maybe. Like they can't be professional there, maybe. I don't know.
Like, because Pacey needs a job.
Oh wait, I'm thinking about the other thing. Yeah, because she was only using him to get back at Danny. So yeah, he doesn't want to be around Karen and Danny. I think that was the situation. Now I remember.
Because I'm just like, you're giving up.
Yeah.
a job. A job you liked. That was the
And that he's
thing.
good at.
Was remember
Mm-hmm.
he told Dawson he likes being a chef.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't get it. And Danny's teaching you. So like then once you get that experience, then you can leave. But he's still in the training process. Like no one else is going to hire you right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So he should stay put.
Yeah, because Pacey goes off at Danny about putting him in the middle of his affair and didn't think of him or Karen. And then he says that, well, Danny apologizes and says he can keep his job if he wants it, but Pacey just walks out. So that's a
Uh
no.
Casey needs the job.
Maybe he thinks he can work on the yacht again. I don't know. Or maybe a different restaurant. I don't know.
Well, but that's what I mean is they're they're going to want someone experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
he
mean,
is
he
a
does.
little, but
Yeah.
not, but he's still in the training process.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's never really done a full meal by himself.
Well,
Like Danny has been there.
am I skipping? Oh no.
No, but like
Um,
Danny has never truly like left him alone all day.
yeah. I mean, he always has the other employees anyhow, but because he's given them a couple of like main course dishes to make, but I don't
Yeah,
think.
but he's just yells at him through. Remember? Oh, you need more of that. You need less of that. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
still teaching them.
Mm-hmm.
Like he would still be serving the wrong stuff.
Yeah. And then Joey goes back to her dorm to find Jack apologizing to Audrey for the party. She
And
forgives
then
him.
and then Audrey says, "Take it easy on him."
Yeah. And then did you notice how she called Joey Bunny like she does her mom?
No.
Yeah, so I think that just shows that Audrey feels really close to Joey right now. With them
Well, of
being
course she
roommates.
did. Joey stood up for her.
Yeah, I'm just saying like that just showed verbally that they're really close. And then Jack explains things to Joey, how it's not easy mixing new friends with old friends. Joey says she'll accept that Jack needs his frat family, and Jack says he'll learn to be less extreme about it. I don't know about that. And then they hug. And then that's when the last scene we haven't talked about, Pacey meets up with Karen. Karen apologizes for what she said to Pacey. She doesn't regret sleeping with him. It forced her to make a decision that she should have made a long time ago. Pacey says she doesn't have to leave. Karen says she does. She has some things to work out, figure out what she wants to do. And she asks him to thank for that. Her taxi arrives. And Karen says to stick with working for Danny because he has talent for cooking. So that was at least good to tell him that so he doesn't give up on it so easily. But do
Yeah,
you
but
think Pacey?
Is Danny gonna give him the job back though? I mean, he did walk out.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because he does really like Pacey, but
Yeah, but he
and
just
then
walked out.
I know, but still like all before
Like
that
if he
he
wanted the job, he should have stayed.
yeah.
Like I
But
would
do
have
you
been like, well, I just gave you that chance and you blew it, so bye.
hmm but do you think Pacey wanted Karen to stay for herself or for maybe a relationship of them together?
Probably a relationship.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Just think Pacey doesn't have someone right now, clearly. I don't know what's going on with Melanie.
Right.
They
Yeah.
really must be over if he slept with her.
Yeah, have to be. Yeah, so that was the last thing we hadn't discussed. So that was it for the episode.
Yeah. Can I say it?
What?
Boring.
Oh,
I I couldn't with this one either.
I mean, I did like seeing Dawson and Jen together off doing their own thing because it was something that wasn't related to the college.
Mm.
Yeah, so highs and lows.
Uh,
That was my high.
my my high was uh mm, my high was Joey telling Jack off
Yeah, that was good. He needed to hear that.
because he's turning into one of them.
hmm
And then the low was the rest of it.
Yeah, my low was Pacey realizing that Karen was only using him to get back at Danny. And then rating
A five.
a 6. Yeah.
Oh, yours went up to a
Yeah.
6.
And then best and worst.
So my best is Joey. I liked how she stood up to Jack. And my worst was Jack for obvious reasons.
Yeah, mine too. For the
Like
worst.
he really was gonna put someone in harm's way with his frat
Mm-hmm.
boyfriend. Like, I
Yeah, his
didn't like it.
brother.
It's out of character for him. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't like it.
Yeah, neither did
I
I.
don't like who Jack's turning into. I was like, you, I mean, here's the thing. I didn't like what Karen did either by using Pacey. But the thing was, like, I just feel like I mean, Pacey knew what he was getting himself into with Karen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she wasn't ready, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But, like, Jack didn't even tell Audrey what the plan was.
Yeah, his intentions, yeah.
And that's the difference between the two, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like. Because
Yeah.
Pacey shouldn't have started dating, went on a date with Karen. Like, that
Mm-hmm.
should never have happened.
Yeah.
So he did that to himself. But Jack not telling Audrey, like, it'd have been one thing if he told Audrey, hey, the plan is for you to sleep with them, and then she still went. That would have been on her. But he
Mm-hmm.
didn't tell her that. So wrong, wrong, wrong. Worst character of the episode goes to Jack.
Yeah, because
What's yours?
well, I was gonna say, to add on to that, because Pacey put himself in emotional danger while Jack put Audrey possibly in physical danger, which is worse. So yeah. I mean, yeah, so Jack was my also my worst for that too. But my best, so as for Joey, I just liked how the therapist pushed Dawson to go to the festival because he was so caught up about his dad's
Down.
will. Yeah, that too. So he could, like I said, focus on something that's for him and something that's good that, would have had him not go back to Cape Side, not be at Boston at college, just be like in a whole different environment that's about the thing that Dawson originally loved to do the most. So hopefully it would get him back in his filmmaking groove that he lost once his dad passed. So I think that was like gonna help him go back on that path. So he would be able to move on from his dad's death and focus back
And
on him.
and I'm sorry, but I want to see Dawson on set.
Hmm.
Like, I don't like him in limbo.
Yeah.
Like, it makes the shows so boring. Like,
Hmm.
oh, I'm gonna watch him lay around. It's okay. It would be one thing if that happened and there was actual drama on the show. Then it would be like, okay, that's one or two scenes that we can just ignore, right? But when that's the whole episode, I can't. You know what I mean? Like, if there's nothing
Hmm.
else happening in the show, I can't watch him be depressed too.
Right. Hmm.
Like, it just brings it all down.
Yeah.
Like other shows, yes, there are times where their characters are down and having a rough time, but they have drama on top of it. So it's not so bad, you know? It's
Hmm.
not like they're focusing on that only. So that's what I mean is you can't have Dawson as like the lead, the only thing in the episode really that's going on.
Yeah.
And he's got nothing going on. Like it's there, it's already bad.
Yeah.
So let's have some more fun, please, because we're already episode 8 into season 5 and it's still bad. How did this show not get canceled? I just don't. Even in season 5, like, come on. I'm sorry, but I want to know, like, did the fans truly love season 5?
I don't know.
Were they only watching because, oh, they invested 4 years of their life into the show, so they continued? Or do they truly love season 5? Because I'm not loving season 5. Not when you go from season 3 and 4 to 5.
Hmm.
Like, it hits you and you're just like, this is bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I just wonder what the fans thought back then.
Yeah, it's hard to know because I think that was too early for online forums and all that going on about it.
Yeah, but I just wonder if like they were only watching by this point just because just to see how it ends.
Hmm.
Or if I mean, because obviously people were watching because they got a season 5 and they got a season 6. So some people were watching, but I just wondered if those were like the diehard fans that just were watching because they were devoted.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. So that's how it was with Riverdale. Riverdale got really bad after season maybe 3 or 4 to a point where it's just too random. But yet they still had their viewers since the beginning because they wanted to see how like the characters turned out at the end. So maybe it was the same thing with this one.
I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of how The Secret Life was
Mm-hmm.
of the American Teenager.
Yeah.
Like the first season was good, and then I don't know, it just started to like go downhill after a while.
Yeah.
Because then it just started to not make sense. You know what I mean? Like people were just
Mm-hmm.
thrown in together, and it was like, what?
Yeah.
Like it would never happen, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And but then it was kind of like I only watched because it was like, okay, how does this end? So that's one
Yeah.
show that I remember like watching only because you've watched so much that you just gotta finish it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like Riverdale yours that you were a devoted fan, so you just had to finish it.
Well, actually, I never watched the last. Well, I mean, I started watching the last season, but then like I was watching it on the CW app, and after a certain point, like I got too far behind that. By the time I went back to watch the next episode I left off on, it wasn't even there anymore because it too much time ran out. So it wasn't. I lost my place, so I had no choice but to stop watching it, and I haven't gotten to it on Netflix. So like I'll eventually finish it, but I'm not dying to finish it. So yeah.
So then what's a show that you watched only because you were a fan and from the beginning, but it was, it ended up being poorly written at some point.
Um, I guess I can compare it to the Flash CW. Uh, it had 9 seasons, I think, and somewhere around like 5 or 6 or 7 around there, it got like the writing got really bad, but I loved all the characters so much, so that's why I kept watching to see what happened to them and their stories. So yeah, I would say that.
Yeah. So
And
maybe
then
that's how this show went for some
yeah, and then
people.
I did find the viewers for this season, the count, and it was well, it was really low ratings.
Did it
But
go
the only
down from 4 to 5 season wise?
um yeah, ever so slightly, a little bit, yeah. Um, it was mainly like 4 or 3 million views each episode, whereas season 4 had a few, like 3, 4, 5 million views for episodes. So the ratings dropped a little bit, but not by that much. But they
See, and
dropped
I'm
a bit more
surprised,
last season.
but I'm surprised that they even got a season 6 then if their ratings had dropped.
Yeah, but it wasn't a big drop, so maybe that's why. Yeah, the first 2 seasons had like a lot of 7 million views, and then it just slowly dropped down each season. So the last season,
Because I feel like you would want to show that the ratings go up, not down.
yeah, I don't think it was a big drop, so maybe that's why. Because like even the last season, her lowest was like 3 million, so it was still a lot of people.
Hmm. Well, I can tell you why. Boring. Well, are you really liking season 5?
Not really. Yeah, they're just trying to. It's like they're still trying to find their footing for this season, even though already like well into it.
It's like they're trying to fill each episode with
Mm-hmm.
bogus stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, and none of it's needed, none of it's necessary, and none of it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So and the thing is too, like with this show, they always try to go against other shows, right? Like they didn't want to be the Beverly Hills 90210, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Beverly Hills 90210 did it better, college years. So it's like this is just bad.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to try to be them because they were successful.
Right.
So yes, I just hope for Dawson. He starts to do film just because I want to see him on set. I don't want to see college anymore. I'm tired of it.
Mhm.
And also, okay, do you want to see Charlie or no?
Well, I thought we would one time like to have some closure, but after finding out that he wanted Nora back, I figured that now definitely they won't. And now Jen's kind of already moved on to Dawson, so Charlie's already history at this point.
He's history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh,
so I
that's
don't at
funny.
this point there's no reason for him to come back now.
Well, how about just because we want to see his face?
Yeah, I don't really care if we see him again or not, so I didn't have a crush on him like everybody else did, so
Oh my God. Well, Cynthia, you don't want to see Chad anymore.
oh, by this point wasn't he doing something else anyways? Maybe that's even why they did this in the first place.
No, he just doing a show. Contract with this. I hate to break your little bubble heart, but he's back for some more.
Really? In this season?
Yep. Yep. A lot
Oh.
more in this season.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna get to see his beautiful face for some more scenes.
Oh yeah, I saw something on TikTok that we haven't seen yet. It was on a beach. Now I
Yep.
remember.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the beach. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So yep, you're gonna see some more of him. I'm
Is he
sorry,
gonna
but sometimes seeing Charlie is more fun on season 5 because it's so bad.
is he gonna get jealous now that Jen's kind of with Dawson?
I think he moves on.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Well, he's a little player, so there you go.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right, so what's the next episode?
Episode 9, Four Scary Stories.
Oh, I know what that's about. I've been dreading episode 9.
Mm.
Hmm.
Well, we're going into December now. So
What's
that's
scary in December?
I know.
Nothing.
You think it'd be like four Christmas stories or something.
Well, see, that would have been better. That would have been more entertaining than this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thanks for listening.
Yep, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about the episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us at Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Duo Chat Podcast. And give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would really appreciate it.